Yeah, Mike King isn't a businessman. He's a businessman with his own talk show. On the Mic with Mike is the best business radio program in the game.
Hey, yo, Richmond, it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit, but keep moving forward. This is the Italian Stallion. Say the one and leave Philly and come to RVA. I always check out my man, Mike King Biz, on ESPN, 5-7 a.m. The champ of business talk radio. Emp, the man.
Oh, hello. I'm Louise Keaton from the Whistle Stop Theater Company. You're listening to On the Mic with Mike. Cheers.
ESPN Richmond 106.1. This is part of Mike King Biz Radio Network. We'd like to thank some of our famous-ish friends for the endorsements, those ringing endorsements. They could be or could not be who you think they are. We ain't saying, because I don't need to contact my attorney, Justin Lauder, because I don't need any problems out there. But we'd like to thank you for coming through. Make sure you go check out our good friends over at the Whistle Stop Theater. They do some really outstanding work in the building with us. We got a radio veteran here, a guy who knows his way around, but I know him from the chamber. He's done a lot of work with the chamber. He is always the guy out there making things happen with the Chesterfield, not any chamber. No. The world famous Chesterfield Chamber. Mark Bowen is here with us. He is of Westchester Commons fame. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you having me.
That's the radio voice, man.
I mean, I can go into
Let me get a little bit of
announcer
radio
voice. Well,
yeah.
you know.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about right there. All that build up, and I was like, you know your way around the radio station. Welcome to the program, sir.
Oh yes, sir. Thank you very much for
all righty, let's start off with the elevator pitch for Westchester Commons.
We are a 60 merchant lifestyle center known in the industry, with a combination of retail, services, restaurants, entertainment, a little bit of everything. It is the surviving largest retail center in the shopping center industry today because of how it has evolved by now adding the resident component. So we have
seems to be the thing everywhere
around the world.
Regency, not here down in John Brandt down in Colonial Heights, says they're doing that down there.
Yeah, it's really, we added the View apartments, 236 singles and doubles 2 years ago.
And you said 100%.
In 13 months, they were 100% full, and they opened in 2020, in April of 2020. And you know what happened then.
Yeah, that was, the world got sent home.
And it was really refreshing to see that, because they had people moving in on April 6, 2020. And by May of 2021, they were full, and they continue to have a waiting list, anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20 people on a daily basis.
What part does the shopping center play as far as that goes?
We market to those residents because it's a captured audience.
Okay.
I mean, that's the simplest terms. But it gives us those people that can walk over to a restaurant, and we have now 18 restaurants out of our 59 merchants total. But it is a captured audience, and we have more coming. We have upwards towards 200 townhomes. The first 70 will break ground in June.
Okay.
More is coming.
More is coming. So now you've made it through the pandemic. We had a conversation what does it look like now as opposed to what it did before things shut down?
We were very fortunate, and we only lost really two. One we considered a temporary, meaning they signed a year or less deal, and that was Glow Golf. It was a indoor glow-in-the-dark mini golf, and they closed 11 out of their 22 locations.
Didn't they have one in
Short
West?
Pump?
Okay, they did.
They did, but they closed 11 out of their 22 locations. Most of them now are around Wichita, Kansas. That's where they were based.
Okay, so they went home.
They did. They took everything out of there and made it a clean space. So we are approaching the level of leasing in that space in particular. But and then we lost Kumon Learning Center. They had been operating remotely. Their lease naturally expired, and we've already filled that with an expansion of Horsey Orthodontics.
So it's not hard for you. People want to be where you are. What do you think is the draw that makes people want to be at Westchester Commons?
It's where all the residential is happening. It's where the money is.
And people always say, following money.
Yeah. And while there are categories that we would like to have, it's not as easy to bring in a grocer as people would think. We were hoping and keeping our fingers crossed, and that it didn't happen with one that went up on Huguenot Road. Maybe we won't say their name.
We ain't saying their name if they ain't showing us any love. I don't need to be petty, but my grandkids do need stuff. Sorry about that.
But I mean, there's a couple other grocers that are within a mile from the shopping center. It just would be a nice addition to have a boutique, maybe an organic type of grocer that's close by for those people that are living there. And then I think also, now that the word has gotten out that we're building townhomes, it's going to be even more attractive. I mean, we have 4 leases out for signature now, and I will not say who they are because we haven't gotten to that point yet. But as soon as they do, we'll announce it on your show.
Well, thank you. That's what we like, breaking news here. You know, our breaking news budget is it's very limited. That's for sure. But we'd like to thank our sponsors who help us stay on Rob White Fast Signs, Andy Taylor and Junk Luggers, Jerry Howard, who is in the building with us. So let me talk to you a little bit about when you said people are coming. Do you have the say of finally who comes in, or you look and say, this isn't a good fit for us?
It is sometimes above my pay grade, since I act as maybe a representative of the owners. Once it gets to that point, and we have leasing calls every other week, we talk about different retailers. There's some that will fit, some that won't fit. There are some that are allowed, some that will exceed make an exclusive on somebody else that's already there.
So you always have to worry about that.
We always do look at that. So say if it was a fitness center, I mean, we have Gold's Gym, so that really wouldn't quite fit. We have now, we won't bring in we won't call them by names because we're not giving them free publicity. Right. But we have Plaza Azteca and we have Rusty Taco. That maxes us out on our quick serve Mexican style food. There are certain categories that we cannot bring in based on the operational easement agreement, an OEA, that Target does rule the roost. And so we have to really be cognizant on what we can and cannot bring in.
Mike King, Jerry Howard is over there with us. We have Mark Bowen is in the building with us, Westchester Commons fame, as well as the Chesterfield Chamber. So on the mic with Mike, we struck a partnership with you guys, and we're going to come down. We're doing like LeBron. We're taking our show on the road. We're taking our talents to, well, the meager talents of mine. But you know what? I roll with a crew.
Anybody that says the name, you advertised as you get to them.
That's right. That's what we do. So I got a rock star crew who I roll with, and people know that they are some heavy hitters. I tell people I'm the LeBron James of recruiting for business. We got some good folks, but we're taking our talents down to Westchester Commons because you guys got a lot going on down there as we go in the spring.
We do. We of course, our now very, very popular Westchester concert series will kick off on June the 9th.
Okay.
And through that and our other events and things that just kind of evolved out of just organically and things that I did not expect is that we've been able to help a lot of charity throughout the years. And I've been there almost 7 years now. And just since 2016, I mean, we've helped charities raise over $1.2 million.
That's a chunk of change.
And there's nobody else, and I will lay that down. Nobody else in the Richmond market is doing such. And it's something we're really proud of, because when you take a nonprofit organization, we don't look for the big guys. I mean, they don't necessarily need that extra platform, that extra step, that extra hand up, and give them an opportunity to raise some funds, but more importantly, to tell their story, to give them a way to get to people that that may endorse them, they may volunteer, they may donate to them. And those little guys are the ones that have been very successful with us, and they've raised funds through the concert series. They've raised funds through the Midlothian Food Festival, through the Wolf Stock with Richmond Animal League. And a lot of those things are community oriented.
How do you guys determine who's going to play in the concert series? Like, what's that process?
You mean the bands?
The bands. Because you're sort of an aficionado. That's what I've heard.
It's a lot about relationships.
Okay.
Even with bands. There's some bands that we continue to bring back because they draw big crowds. And that's the main reason for doing it. That's my number one reason, is to draw people to the shopping center. The part about helping the charities, that came second, but now it's risen to the top of almost equal. It just ties us closer to the community. And gives us kind of an endorsement that if we're helping a charity that a shopper is helping, then it kind of comes full circle. I mean, we'll have that customer for life. But as far as the bands, a lot of them I have personal relationships with. I've worked with them for many years. We even have a band that comes from Atlanta that we're the only place they play publicly in the state of Virginia. And I've known them for now going on 33, 34 years.
Mark Bowen here. He is Westchester Commons, but he's also, we're going to talk about this after the break. As I always say, the microphone ain't free. Summit definitely does need theirs. My grandkids need stuff too. So we'll be back in just a moment, more with Mark Bowen.
Hi, Chef Michelle here.
Hi, well, you know who I am. Make sure you check out my man, Mike King Biz. His program, On the Mic with Mike Orvier, is the best business-ish radio program in Orvier. Mike King Biz Radio can be heard on ESPN Richmond 106.1 and The Choice 105.3. Me and Minnie listen every day, and you should too.
Hey, RVA, this is the Tam. You know another guy named Mike? Make sure you check out my main man, Mike King Biz. Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. on Sports 106.1. On the mic, with Mike, is the champion of business talk radio. You're starting to irritate me.
We'd like to thank the champ for that ringing endorsement. On the Mic with Mike, ESPN Richmond. That's where you find us. It is part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network, which is ESPN Richmond 106.1, 5 to 7 a.m. The Choice every day from 2 to 3. That is 105.3, as well as International Business Growth Radio. That's Saturday at 10 a.m. We're doing business on a global scale. That is what we do and how we do it. Right now, we got Mark Bowen of Westchester Commons is in with us. But he's not only here talking about Westchester Common, he is really big into the chamber. You are the chair of the Chesterfield Chamber, correct? Is that correct?
I'm board chair elect.
Board chair
So
elect.
I will be board chair.
That's right, because we don't want Amy DeFore coming after you saying,
I follow her.
Exactly.
She's my leader.
You're not trying to say, hey, cut short her term, because you guys are serious about the board work at the Chesterfield Chamber.
Yeah, it's a very, like you said a little while ago, it's a very energized board. And it's what Carolyn Clements, a past board chair, used to say. It's a working board. We don't get paid for this, or we all get paid the same, whichever way you want to call it.
Exactly.
But
no one's special.
It is a very active board. I think we have 17 or 18 members, and we meet once a month and we get it done. An hour and 15 minutes, we're done. We make it happen.
Board, nonprofit organizations, chamber of commerces, whatever it is, are always starved for board leadership, not Chesterfield.
No,
You guys are interviewing people to say, thanks for applying, but not this year. And you have top flight people saying,
oh yeah. I mean, if we interviewed 18, 19 people this year and for 5 slots, they were all good.
Yes.
They were all good. And we very much critically
where feelings hurt, you could tell feelings were hurt. Yes.
Yeah, you can, because it's hard to turn away a volunteer. I mean, when you have somebody who wants to step up and do the work,
and you're telling them, Not this time.
Yeah, and I'm actually coaching one of the people that it was my all-star, and I didn't nominate her, but I am working with her now on getting her ready for next year because I want her on the board. I want her on my board that I'm going to lead.
So you're coaching them up.
I am, and she was new, and I thought she had tons of potential. She went through the interview and didn't quite give us what we wanted, at least her foresight into the future of the chamber and of the board. So I've been personally coaching her to get ready for it because I think she can do a great job.
So shout out to Danielle Fitzhugh over at the Chesterfield Chamber. Let me ask you, what is it about the chamber that has the energy and magic?
The membership engagement. And you can go to our monthly luncheons and see 150, 200, 250 people really engaging with each other. So it's that business to business relationship. And I mean, people like to do business with those people that they like, that they trust, and continuing to have monthly, weekly conversations with like-minded chamber members will do you well personally as well as for your business.
One of Mike with Mike, ESPN Richmond here. We're here with Mark Bowen, Westchester Common, as well as the Chesterfield Chamber, because as Danielle and you guys would say, it's not about living in Chesterfield for business-wise. It is the premier business program organization to promote business, whether you live there, work there, whatever.
Yeah, if you do business in Chesterfield, we want you to be part of the chamber. And there's so many resources, and we're on a campaign now.
The total resource?
Well, we can get to that in a second. I was going to say we have a new standing committee, the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, and I'll give a shout out to Bernadette Spencer, who leads that. She's also on the board, but she's chair of that committee. And we have gone into the SWAM lists for the area and really gotten into businesses that may not be aware of the chamber, may not feel like they're part of that environment, but we want to kind of give them some instruction on, say, these are resources that we can provide at no cost just by affiliating yourself with the Chamber of Commerce.
Because once a person gets there, they get the magic.
Oh, and you can feel it, and we all drink that Kool-Aid.
Yes, we do.
It's really, really, it's done me well professionally. Also for my business, it's just stayed on the top of minds.
I'd like to thank Mark Bowen for coming in. Mark, how can people find you? One, with the chamber as well as at Westchester Commons.
You can always go to chesterfieldchamber.com. We have a new website. Shopwestchestercommons.com is our website. And you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And also, so the music series is coming up when?
Starts June the 9th.
Okay, so the folks, that's what's going. We're going out to Westchester Commons. We'll be out there on the mic with Mike, the best business radio program around. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks now. Take care.